You've heard me talking a lot over the last, year and a bit really, around the whole concussion story, not just high-profile athletes, but we did a full hour during the year last year, about sort of October-ish, maybe September, Brad, where we got people's stories. Now, we had one guy who was hit by a hockey ball at training, really struggling to go back to work. Well, Wayne Hughes has been through something similar, and I'll get him to explain his story, but what Wayne wants to do is give away his tickets to the Cricket World Cup because his mates don't want to go without him, because at the moment Wayne is in no position, given what is played out, for him to sit through 8 hours of an ODI match. Wayne joins us. Afternoon to you, Wayne.
Hey, Tony, how you going?
Very well, Wayne. Talk us through what happened to you, a game of indoor cricket that has changed your life fundamentally.
Yeah, 23rd of August last year, I was playing in the final of the Prem Reserves Auckland competition, and just on the end of a freak accident.
What happened?
Yeah, so the guy was bowling the ball and I was at the non-striker's end, and he lost control and the ball hit me straight in the side of the head. I watched it leave his hand, as you do, and I turned to see where the ball went, and it hit me just under the cheekbone and temple area on the right-hand side of my head.
So were the symptoms for you, obviously you take a blow, you go down, were the symptoms immediate or did they take a while to set in?
It took a few days. I was fine. My wife's an emergency nurse, so she gave me some pretty good painkillers on for a couple of days, and I was fine. But then on the Tuesday, I had a really bad headache, and on the Wednesday it was worse, and on Thursday I could barely walk and talk, and that's when I went to my GP, and he told me Post Concussion Syndrome, and I remember thinking, what the hell is Post Concussion Syndrome?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, as I said, it's dramatically changed your life.
Yeah, for sure, Tony. If you Google post-concussion syndrome, there's a massive list of symptoms, and unfortunately, over the last sort of 5 months, I've experienced most of those, and I still battle symptoms every day. I wake up in pain, and it's just a matter of trying to manage the symptoms through the help of obviously ACC and your GPs and neurologists and all the rest of it, but. Yeah, it's I've gone from doing lots and being on the go as a salesperson running sales teams, and all of a sudden it's a struggle to get out of bed some days.
Wow. How do you deal with that? And I mean that honestly. I'm not trying to get to a situation, but I mean, how do you deal with that one moment of one game of indoor cricket?
It's bloody tough. I mean, you go through. It's almost like a death, Tony. You go through a grieving process because the person you were before is gone, and you've got to rebuild your life again. So it's incredibly tough. I was extremely angry for the first couple of months, and why me, and bugger the world, and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And you go through depression and really bad patches, but. I'm really lucky that I've got the love and support of my beautiful wife Paula, and yeah. So I don't want to choke up on here.
Yeah, I know. So when you're sitting through this at the moment, I mean, what are the doctors saying to you at the moment? As you said, you can't work. Life is very difficult. It's not the same. I mean, what are they saying to you? Because this is an issue for me, which is massive, Wayne, because we know in the sporting context at the moment, still this almighty debate about, guys that play on in sport. Have we got the right protocols in place to protect, grassroots sportsmen? What are they saying to you future-wise?
Look, it's incredibly tough for them because no one really knows why people get this, how to treat it. What they try and do is just understand the symptoms and treat the symptoms that are showing. But ultimately, Tony, the diagnosis is rest your brain, and in time you'll come right. But how the hell do you rest your brain?
Yeah. And there's no time limit. They can't say to you, yeah, you'll be fine, good to go in a couple of weeks, can they? They just don't know.
Yeah, and for a guy like me, that's incredibly frustrating because I've built my life around envisioning something, and then you go, right, that's what I want, and then you break it down, and you break it down into little steps, and then you chip off those goals. But with something like this, there's just there's no definitive guide. And my wife put it beautifully the other day. She goes, it's like we've been dumped into the middle of a maze, and everyone we ask for directions doesn't really know which way to go. But they're willing. They're really nice, and they're trying to help, but they're not quite sure if it's left or right at the tree.
Well, that's the thing, Wayne, about it. I mean, you have situations where, for example, if you're in rural New Zealand, I mean, you go to your local GP and say, I had this incident on a rugby field. Do those GPs actually have the knowledge to instruct you what to do? And this is one of the big problems for me is about this issue. Do we know enough about it?
Short answer is no, Tony. I don't want to stick the boot into the medical profession because they're doing all they can and they're amazing people. But the cold hard facts of it is that until more research is done, and there is studies being done. I mean, I gave you some stats off here before about some stuff, but 75% of people that suffer this stuff will have headaches for at least 12 months, but no one really knows why. Getting back to can a GP diagnose you? I guess it's something that comes from within. You have to tell someone how you're feeling. I mean, because it's a hidden injury.
What do you make of it then? Let me ask you this very broad question. What do you make then when you see and hear the stories of Sam Burgess and what happened last year in the grand final, and you hear stories about guys saying, bugger this, you plough on because it's what you do as a bloke? Yeah, well, that was me 20 years ago, first 15 rugby, mate. That's what you did, right? I mean, I've been knocked out before, but that was a long time ago. I certainly take a different view on it now. I mean, I don't know, let's not take away from an amazing performance, but you're right, should he have played on, and that's the big debate. I don't have the answer, Tony. But I put it this way, I certainly look at Smashed and Burrow and the Crowd Goes Wild a bit differently. Yeah, it's amazing. Well, listen, Wayne, part of the reason, and thank you so much, you made this offer. You've got, these 4 tickets for New Zealand v England in Wellington, correct? Yeah. So, my mates and I were planning to go down, but, as you said in the intro, not unable to make the trip. So what I'd love to do is, give those tickets to someone that's sort of going through something similar or helping someone and give someone a mint day out at the cricket, because I'm sure it's going to be a cracker. Well, exactly, mate. And what we'll do, as I said, I'll put it up on my Facebook page, Vietchy on Sport. What we'll do, we'll give them away on Wednesday nights. I'll give people the opportunity, Wayne, over the next few days to put in their little applications, if you like. And it'll be nice for somebody, as you say, who's been through this to be able to take some mates or some family or some loved ones along to the cricket. Yeah, absolutely, mate. That's what I was wanting to do. And I'm come hell or high water, I'm going to go to the Hamilton game. But you just got to pick your moments. If someone can enjoy those tickets, then that'll make me feel a little bit better about things as well. So well, Wayne, I tell you what, I want you to stay in touch with us. Let us know how you're going. I know it's a horrible situation for you to be in, but you will fight through this. You know that. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's. I've in a funny kind of way, I've been given another chance at life to rebuild my life from the ground up. So, you've always got to look at the positive side of things, and that's what I'm doing. My wife and I've got some big plans for this year, and might not happen as quickly as I used to be able to do it, but I'll chip away. You know what I mean? It's always about rebounding, Wayne. Rebounding in life. Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, there's all sorts of different quotes and mantras that I live by, but look, a winner and a loser, you pick yourself up one more time. So just keep picking yourself up and dust yourself off and carry on. Great to chat with you, Wayne. I really appreciate it. Hey, no worries, Tony. Awesome chatting to you too. Thanks for